The Sentinel. All-seeing, all-powerful, the rarest of rarities. An original game which was released in the United States as The Sentry and created by Geoff Crammond. No one is quite sure who or what it was or where it came from, but it's here. It's here, and if it isn't stopped, it will take control of the whole universe. It will drain the energy from every planet in our solar system, redistributing it as it sees fit. It has already conquered 10,000 worlds, and now it will claim ours. Unless a miracle, the creation of a robot, a synthoid, a lifeless shell powered by thought, an entity with properties similar to those of the Sentinel, capable of absorbing and shaping energy to its own requirements, capable of destroying the awesome threat. But what is this game all about, and how are you supposed to play it, I hear you ask? Well, let's start from the top and work our way through the nooks and crannies for those out there who really want to start getting into this absolute classic game. Highly recommend that you also read the manual, which I'll link in the video. Sentinel consists of 10,000 landscapes, each containing a sentinel and up to 6 guardians, whose life energy you must absorb before gaining access to another landscape. The more energy you have accumulated when you finally jump into hyperspace, the more levels you will skip. You start each level in the lowest point of the landscape, often only able to see the tops of a few trees and the sentinel towering above you. Each landscape is rather like a contoured open-plan chessboard with valleys, mountains and plateau on which trees abound. The key to the whole game is energy, shown in the top left-hand corner of the screen. The smallest unit of energy is a tree. Boulders take 2 energy, and a robot takes 3, so be sure to reabsorb this energy wherever possible. Sentinels are like giant Oscars that slowly rotate on their elevated platforms. Whenever a sentinel turns to face you, it begins absorbing your energy, randomly redistributing it throughout the landscape in the form of trees. The only way you can absorb the energy of the sentinel is by reaching an elevated position in the landscape, from which you can look down on its platform. And you can only absorb an object's energy when you can see the base of the square on which it stands. So what's all this about energy and absorption, and why does all of this sound incredibly complicated? Honestly, it isn't, and I'll try and explain everything as we go along. Basically, getting high enough to be able to absorb the sentinel is, in principle, simple, but far from easy in practice. Imagine you're standing on the ground with an empty square beside you. You can create a boulder on the empty square. Then, on top of the boulder, you can create a copy of yourself into which you can transport. Now you're standing on the boulder looking down on the old you, which you can absorb so as not to have lost any net energy, except that tied up in the boulder below you. From your new vantage point, you can see bits of the landscape, visible because of your extra elevation. You may already be able to see the bases of a few of the trees, the tops of which you saw earlier. If so, absorb their energy. You're bound to need it later to create more boulders. And you're not limited to just building one boulder at a time either. Apart from the fact that each one costs 2 units of energy to create, there is nothing stopping you building a tower of boulders before placing yourself on top. But although it allows you to make big jumps in height, having so much energy tied up in boulders proves to be too risky a strategy. As soon as you make only the slightest sound, the sentinel comes to life, and from now on will creakily turn 30 degrees around on its own axis, every 10 seconds, with the aim to get the robot into sight. If the sentinel looks at you, then the scan display is activated in the top right hand corner of the screen, and shortly afterwards, 1 energy unit will be subtracted from the stock of your robot every 5 seconds. And in exchange, a tree is created at a random position in the landscape. As soon as a sentinel or guardian starts sapping your energy, you have to transport to a safe part of the landscape or risk premature death. This means leaving behind all the boulders. Although from your, hopefully, safe point on the landscape, you can begin reabsorbing the boulders, you are now competing with the Sentinel, which, even though you've moved, will still absorb any other energy source it sees frequently. A policy of little and often is the key to success. Move from place to place, always staying one step ahead of the Sentinel, without ever having too much capital invested in boulders. Not going to lie, I used to absolutely crap myself playing this as a kid, and have very fond memories going into absolute panic overload when the Sentinel would start to rotate, slowly, and then eventually gaze in my direction. Still, great memories all the same. If you've never experienced Sentinel, treat yourself to the nearest thing yet to the perfect game. As games go on the 64, most of them are based around effort. Presentation is everything, and if you slap a passable game on top, then you've got a hit. In most cases that's not so bad. People are usually quite happy. But this game is different. It's all game. There's no frills, just the game. Nothing is superfluous. The graphics just do the job. The sound just does it. It's all functional. That leaves the game, and it's brilliant. How someone can come up with an idea like this is totally beyond me. This was something very special indeed. It does take a little perseverance to get into the game, but the effort is definitely well spent. The atmosphere can really take you over. The on-screen action doesn't appear to be all that fast, but once things get going, you really do have to think and move very quickly indeed. The Sentinel is near as damn it perfect, mentally demanding, extremely rewarding, and technically astounding. The only valid comparison I can make is that the Sentinel is the computer game equivalent of chess. It's a timeless classic which will spawn many an imitation, none of which will be in the same league. The look of the chess pieces and board can be changed, but the game always remains the same. The Sentinel is such an unusual concept, I get that it will not be appreciated by everyone who experiences it. It will only appeal to those who truly appreciate its qualities, and then it grabs you so hard, it's frightening to think it might never let go. But then, who cares when you get hooked by something as mind-blowing as this? Massive thumbs up. Thanks for watching guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts about the Sentinel in the comments. As always, I massively appreciate the support, and kindly ask that if you're not a subscriber but are enjoying the nostalgia, to consider joining me on this epic journey revisiting classic Commodore games just like this. With many more games on the channel playlists and more coming regularly, it'd be awesome for you to stick around and check out the other games in store. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.